Another one.
Afternoon everyone, welcome back to another video. Made a bit more progress on the K20 swap today, so I'll get to that in a minute. Just heading out for the day, heading home. Been quite a busy day in the workshop, so quite nice to get off a little bit earlier. Got to pop into the body shop on the way home. Got a A-class side skirt that someone decided was better not on the car, so got to get a new one painted up. I've also got a spoiler on the seat next to me, going to get painted at the same time. It's going to go on one of my Jazzes, not sure which one yet. Probably this one on the K20, I would imagine. I do have some other Jazzes. Well, I've got the Frankenstein Jazz, as you know, and at the moment I've got two yellow sport Jazzes as well. One of those is going to be sold. The other one I think I'm going to keep as a run around. It's so economical. I'm possibly going to attempt to do like a half wrap on it as well, to make it like a Spoon Sports Jazz. So we'll see how that goes. I've never done that before, but you know, got to try these things. So yeah, that's it basically. I'll get into some footage of today's work so you can see where I've got up to on the K-swap, and yeah, hope you enjoy. This is the car in question. It's been here for a while now. Got a totally standard K20. Well, can't really tell what it's like. You can't pull it apart while it's in there and check it all out, but we'll have it apart, do the chain and tensioner. Ran beautifully before, but obviously it's no point doing, you know, not doing the chain before the engine's put in, because it's not the easiest of things to do when it's in, especially in a K-swapped car. As you can see, quite a bit of progress today. Managed to get the engine out. What I do with these is drop them out the bottom, actually, because it's a bit easier than coming out. There's not a lot of space across here to get them out, so easier if you drop them out and pull them out the bottom. Yeah, pretty much got the cables to come out, because they're not going to be any good for the box that we've got. I've notched out the chassis rail, so I have to cut this piece out, which I've done on both the others I've done, and then I need to pick up some sheet steel actually, then I'm going to make up a plate that goes back in there, weld that back in, and it gives that plenty of strength. I've got the mount that bolts on here, and that, yeah, still make sure that that's got plenty of strength, because obviously the engine weighs a fair bit more. And then I'll have to drop the subframe out, because when you put the K20 in, you have to put it in from underneath, because it's way too big. And you can still get the header in with the once the engine's in. There's plenty of space at the back there. But yeah, get the subframe out, get it all cleaned up. This is the original engine loom. It's the two ECU plugs, and then got the dash loom there. So we have to get the adapter to marry up to all those, and then say the difference between, on my UK car, is it goes in here, but on this one it's going in over here. But I think on the K20 loom there's plenty of wire there, so we can locate that through back in to the original position. I have already opened this box because I wanted to make sure on something before I went too far. But we've got is the top mount for the driver's side, well, on this one, passenger side, being left-hand drive. I'll show you how that goes on in a second. This one goes on the back onto the factory mount on the back. You can see the quality of these Haspel mounts are really good, very impressed with those. A big bag of bolts, if anyone knows where all those go, if they could let me know, that'd be excellent. Is with me. The other one for the gearbox side. Oh, need more hands. Christmas. There we go. That goes on the gearbox, and again takes the factory mount on that side. And then we've got this one that bolts to the head. It's more like fish and chips, unwrapping this. There we go, that bolts to the head and takes that guy on top of it. I did have to notch the mount on my K20 when I did that. So yeah, it's not quite sitting in because of the ABS pump, so I have to relocate that a little bit. I'll show you. It just fits in under the pipes there. It looks like we were alright with clearance on this one. I had a little bit of an issue on one of mine. I had to notch a little bit down here off that mount. That's not looking too bad. Going back to my car and the little mount issue, you can just see here, focus, yeah, I had to notch a little bit out of there because it was just sitting on the edge there, and this actually is a hard race mount, so it might be the difference between the OEM and the hard race mount, that the lip just comes out a little bit further, so you need to trim it down a little bit. To these mounts, I don't know whether it might be worth me cleaning these up, giving them a coat of paint just to make them look a little bit better, because it looks pretty ropey in there at the moment. Give it a bit of a freshen up, I think. Let's get a bolt in there so it doesn't fall off. That. And then yeah, that will somehow, yeah, can't keep it still, but that's how it goes onto there. Excuse the dodgy camera work, it's hard to do the camera end. And then this one goes on there, like so. Bolts to the engine and the gearbox casing, mounts that on there. I've also got to notch out the subframe, something like that, and cut this section out, cut this whole corner out, and then weld a plate in along here, along there, and a flat one across the bottom with a drain hole so that the water doesn't accumulate. That means you can get the gearbox off easily without having to drop everything out again. It's always a good idea to do on these. A EP3 shifter in mine made a bracket out of box steel that's triangular, bolts to the original mounting points for the shifter there. Got one of my MJC EP3 short shifters, so it's got a nice short throw on it. It made a huge difference for the driving of the car. I had a DC5 shifter in it before, and then the Chinese sort of K-tune style K-swap shifter, and the shifting is just way better on the EP3 shifter, so much nicer to drive. One thing I've done slightly differently on both my previous K-swap Jazzes is coolant side. Now the first one, I think I fitted the Mishimoto version of the Jazz radiator, and it obviously was a bolt-in fit. And then on the K24 we actually went for something like this, which is like a B series radiator, which I'll come back a bit. It was not a bad fit. The only actually this one's got not too bad clearance, but what I might have to do, because of the throttle body ends up around about here, so clearance is a bit of an issue. So what I might have to do is cut this off, pull it over to this side, TIG weld it onto that side, and then just weld a plate over the original there, just to give us the clearance. But I'll speak to the owner, see what he wants to do, because some people go for the full width rad, so we'll see what we do with that. So going back to that, obviously the condenser for the aircon normally goes in here. I haven't actually managed to get aircon working on one of my swaps, but it could be done with a bit of altering of the pipes, but I don't know whether you can weld these pipes and adapt them. I'm not sure if that's possible. Someone else might know. Let me know in the comments if you do. Thanks for watching today's video. I'm actually finding